This is one of the most absolutely devastating stories I've ever read on the channel. I don't have any more words. 3 weeks ago, I went to the doctor for what I thought was just persistent back pain and fatigue. See, I've been putting it off for months because I'm stubborn and hate doctors and kept telling myself it's just stress from work. Ashley, she kept nagging to me to go, ironically enough saying I looked pale and tired all the time, so I went. The appointment was on a Tuesday morning, quiet, one of those early fall days where the air feels crisp and the sky's perfect. You know, that kind of blue that makes you think everything's okay. I remember sitting in the waiting room looking at my phone, scrolling through nothing, feeling annoyed that I was wasting mornings on what would probably amount to the doctor telling me to exercise more and drink water. Then the doctor came in with a test result and his face had this expression I'll never forget. Gentle, but serious, like he was about to tell a child that their dog died. He sat down across from me and just started talking about cells and stages and treatment options and survival rates. And I heard all of it, but I also heard none of it. The word aggressive and late stage kept circling in my head like a vulture. He was kind about it, I'll give him that. He didn't sugarcoat it, but he didn't make it sound hopeless either, even though I could read between the lines well enough to know the hopeless was exactly what it was. I don't remember walking out of that office. I don't remember getting in my car. I was just suddenly sitting in the parking lot holding a folder full of paperwork I could not bring myself to open, staring at the steering wheel like it might have answers. My hands were shaking, obviously, at this point, and my whole body felt cold even though the sun was beating through the windshield. I sat there for nearly an hour trying to figure out how to tell Ashley, my wife, the person I've loved for 6 years, the person I've built this life with, the person who was supposed to grow old with me, except now there was not going to be any growing old. I wanted to do it right. I didn't want to just blurt it out the second I walked in the door. I wanted to cook dinner, maybe her favorite pasta dish, open a bottle of wine, sit down at the table like adults and tell her honestly and calmly that I was sick and that we were going to fight this together. So I rehearsed it in my head the entire drive home. I practiced saying her name in a steady voice. I imagined her reaction. Maybe she would cry, maybe she would be angry at the universe. Maybe she would just hold me and we would figure it out together the way married people are supposed to. The closer I got to our house, the heavier everything felt. My chest, my head, my hands on the wheel. I felt nauseous, like I might throw up right in the car. I kept thinking about how she reacted, what she would say, whether she would fall apart or stay strong for me. I just wondered if she would blame herself for not making me go to the doctor sooner. I wondered if she would be scared. I was terrified. I pulled into our driveway and just sat there for a bit, engine off, breathing through the waves of nausea and dread. I kept trying to get past the first sentence. Ashley, I need to tell you something, but every time I said it in my head, my throat closed and I couldn't imagine what would come next. Then I noticed the front door was cracked a bit. Not wide open, just slightly ajar, like somebody had closed it but had not latched it. It's weird. Ashley's paranoid about locking doors, so I get out of the car and walk up to the house, and that's when I hear noises coming from outside. Faint, muffled, I assume that she left the TV on. I stepped inside and immediately saw clothes on the stairs, a shirt, a pair of jeans. Not mine. I stood there staring at them, like my brain could not process what they meant. Like maybe there was some reasonable explanation and I just wasn't thinking of it. Then I heard sounds from upstairs, breathing, movements, unmistakable intimacy. I walked up those stairs and every step felt hollow, like the floor might give out under me. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. I reached the bedroom door and saw shadows moving on the wall, backlit by the afternoon sun coming through the window. I pushed the door open. Ashley was in bed with Justin from down the street, the guy that she used to joke about whenever I would see them talking in the driveway, saying he's harmless and not a threat, and that I was being paranoid whenever I mentioned it. She would laugh and call me jealous, and now here we are, in bed with them, and I sleep in every night, in the house we bought together on the same day I found out I'm dying. I didn't scream, I didn't move, I just stood there frozen while the time did its thing, where it stretched out and compressed at the same time. I could see every detail with this horrible clarity. The way the sheets were tangled, the way her hair fell across her face, the way Justin's eyes went wide with panic when he saw me. Oh, I was supposed to be at work. Ashley looked up and I saw guilt flash across her face, but it was mixed with something else, maybe annoyance. Like I would be interrupting something inconvenient, not remorse, not shame. Annoyance. I turned around and walked out. I don't remember deciding to do that, I just did it. I got to the hallway and that's when something inside me snapped. I wasn't numb anymore, I was burning. I started throwing things, a picture frame off the wall, a vase on the hall table. I wasn't trying to hit anything really, or break anything specific. I just needed to make noise, to do something with rage and betrayal and shock that was tearing through me. Justin scrambled past me half-dressed, terrified, practically falling down the stairs trying to get out. Ashley started screaming at me to calm down. Not, I'm sorry, not let me explain, just calm down. Like I was the one being unreasonable, like I was the problem. I shouted back at her. I don't even remember what I said, I just remember it was louder than I've ever yelled in my entire life. Louder than I thought my voice could go. Everything I've been holding in for the past few hours, the diagnosis and the fear and the pain and now this, all of it came pouring out in this incoherent roar. The neighbors must have heard because the cops showed up. I don't know, maybe 10 minutes later. Yeah, I was still in the hallway surrounded by broken glass and the picture frame, shaking, barely able to breathe. Ashley was downstairs telling them I lost my mind and that she was scared. The officers separated us and asked me to step outside. I tried to explain, but my voice was shaking so badly and nothing I said made sense. They arrested me. Disorderly conduct. I never touched her. I never touched Justin, I just broke things in my own home. But I got handcuffed anyways while Justin sat in his car down the street watching. Sitting in the back of that patrol car, it felt surreal. I kept thinking about the diagnosis, about the paperwork still sitting in my car, about how I've driven home planning to have a quiet dinner and a difficult conversation. Instead, I was being taken to jail. My head was spinning and I felt like I might pass out. At the jail, they processed me to put me in holding, where a bunch of other guys were. I sat on a bench staring at the floor, trying to make sense of anything. There was this guy across from me, broad-shouldered, maybe a little older than me, with a sharp eye that seemed to take in everything. His name was Kyle. See, Kyle, he watched me for a while before he spoke, asking what happened in this calm, measured voice that felt almost therapeutic. He knew. I broke down. I told him everything. I mean, why not? He's a stranger. I'll never see him again. The cheating, the diagnosis, the arrest, all of it just spilled out of me in this desperate, rambling mess. Well, he listened about this without interrupting, just nodding slowly like he was taking mental notes. When I finished, he said something that made my skin prickle. Some people deserve consequences. I told him I didn't want violence, man. I just wanted my life back, whatever was left of it, and he looked at me for a long moment and said, sometimes people like that only learn through pain. I didn't think much of it at the time. I was too exhausted and overwhelmed to register what he might really mean. So Kyle and I spent 4 days in a holding cell together. He became strangely protective of me, treating me like a younger brother, making sure I ate, keeping other guys from bothering me, and we talked constantly because there was nothing else to do. I told him everything about my life and Ashley, about the affair. He would ask questions with this unsettling precision, getting details I didn't recognize until I was giving them. What kind of car Justin drove, where he works, what gym, where he went to. It all felt conversational, just two guys passing time, waiting on the judge to open so I can go bail out. But looking back, I can see he was gathering intelligence. When I finally went before the judge and got released, Kyle gripped my shoulders hard and said, somebody's gotta fix what you can't, man. I thought he was just being supportive, like just throwing it in the air, trying to make me feel better, and I thanked him. I left and I said, good luck with your life, man. Well, Nicole, my sister, she picked me up from the courthouse, okay? She was horrified by everything that happened, and I still didn't tell her about the cancer. I couldn't. I was barely holding myself together as it was. When I got home, Ashley was not apologetic, she was furious. She wanted to know why I embarrassed her in front of the police and the neighbors, why I made a scene. She did not apologize for the affair. She didn't try to explain, she just made herself the victim, saying I overreacted and that I ruined everything. I was too exhausted to fight back and I just shut down. Meanwhile, Kyle had been released on bail. I didn't know this at the time, but he started following Justin. For 2 days, he tracked his routine, learning his schedule, watching his movement. He saw Justin flirting with other women at bars, which apparently reinforced whatever Kyle had already decided about him. One night, Kyle waited behind Justin's gym in the shadows, and when Justin walked into his car, Kyle ambushed him. He beat him, repeatedly, viciously, stopping only when he thought Justin wasn't moving. Not out of mercy, but out of strategy, because he didn't want a murder charge. Justin ended up hospitalized with severe injuries. Broken ribs, fractured jaws, internal bleeding. It was all over the neighborhood within hours, and Ashley immediately assumed that I orchestrated the hit. When I heard about the attack, I felt sick, horrified. I pieced it together. Kyle's words, his questions, his strange intensity, and I realized what he did. Vigilante justice, he says. He's done it for me, because I told him my story opened up to him and he decided to act on it. I don't know if that's a friend or an enemy. Ashley screamed at me, saying I ruined Justin's life, I might never see him walk again, and that I was jealous and pathetic and unstable. I tried to explain I had nothing to do with it, but she wouldn't listen. She just kept yelling, blaming me for everything, making me the villain of the story where I was the one who's been betrayed. The stress finally broke me. I collapsed in the bathroom that night, sobbing on the tile floor, and I knew I could not keep the truth. I told her. I had to tell her. So I did. I told her that I was dying, that the cancer was spreading aggressively, that I didn't have much time. She accused me of lying for sympathy, called me melodramatic even, and said I was making it up to manipulate the situation. Okay. So I walked to my car and I got those medical papers. She went silent, completely silent. Then she starts to panic, ventilating her breath, pacing the room. Her panic turned to hysteria. And then she told me she's pregnant. She said she didn't know if the baby was mine or Justin's, just like that. I just stared at her. My world had already collapsed once, now it's collapsing again, deeper, darker, into some nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I tried to hold on to something, but anything really that felt real and stable, but there was nothing left. Update number 1. Hey guys, it's been a few weeks since I've posted. I don't know why I'm updating this. Maybe because I need to tell you something, I don't know. Tell someone what's happening, and there's no one left who wants to listen. My health, it's bad, okay? The doctors started me on a treatment, but they've already said it's not working the way they hoped. I'm losing weight quickly. I'm in pain most of the time, and I sleep maybe 2 hours a night, and even then I wake up feeling like I didn't sleep at all. Ashley has not apologized, not once. She's living in that house like nothing happened, like she did not destroy me. She avoids me, mostly. When we do talk, it's about logistics, bills, appointments, groceries. She acts like I'm dead. Already. Justin is out of the hospital, but he's not the same. I heard through the grapevine that he's got permanent damage, and that he's scared to leave his house, that he's seeing a therapist and dealing with PTSD. Part of me does feel a bit guilty about it, another part of me feels nothing. Well, Kyle, he got arrested. Eventually, they connected him to the attack through security footage from the gym parking lot and followed his car and got his license plates. He didn't even resist. I haven't spoken to him since jail, but I think about him sometimes, about why he did what he did. He didn't even really know me. We spent 4 days together and he decided I was worth protecting, worth avenging, possibly going to jail for life for? I don't know if that makes him loyal or insane, or hell, both. Ashley still blames me for everything. She walks around the house with her hand on her stomach, not saying anything, just existing in this state of accusations. I can't tell if she's scared about the baby or angry at me, or both. She won't do a paternity test until after it's born. She says she can't handle it now. You know, I'm not going to make it until the baby's born. I know that now. I've already talked to my God. The doctors haven't said it outright, but I can see it in their faces when they check my charts. I can feel it in my body. I know what this is. The way it's giving up, piece by piece. I thought I would have more time. I thought maybe, just maybe, I'd at least get to know if the baby was mine. My baby boy? Perhaps a girl? But time doesn't care what you want. It just runs out. Update number 2. I didn't think I would make this update, to be honest with you. I'm writing this from the hospital. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. Everything hurts, not just physically, though that's terrible. It's the kind of hurt that lives in your chest, in your thoughts, in these places where hope used to be. Ashley, she hasn't even came here. Nicole says she can't deal with it. I don't know what that means. Hell, you think I can deal with it? Can't handle watching me die, huh? Can't handle facing what she did. I guess it doesn't matter anymore. I've been thinking about the baby. Whether it's mine, whether I'll never know, whether it matters. Part of me wants to believe it is, and part of me thinks it would be crueler if it was. Because then there's a piece of me in this world being raised by someone who could not even be bothered to sit with me when I'm dying. Nicole, she's been here every day. She holds my hands and talks to me about nothing. The weather, her job, things that she saw on TV. I love her for that, for not making me talk about anything heavy, for just being here. I keep thinking about that Tuesday morning, driving home from the doctor's office, planning to cook dinner. I never cook. I'm a terrible cook. Rehearsing how I would tell her. If I've known what was waiting for me, I might have just kept driving. Gone somewhere else, you know what? I probably would have drove off a cliff. But I didn't, and here I am. I'm scared. I'm scared. Honestly, though, I'm not scared to die. I'm just scared that the fact of the matter is everything is going to end like this. Unresolved, broken, surrounded by wreckage. I wanted to matter to somebody. I thought maybe it would be Ashley. I thought we would build a life together, grow old, have kids, all the normal things people do. Instead, I'm here alone while she's at home with a baby that might not even be mine in her womb. And the only person who tried to defend me is sitting in jail for nearly offing someone. I don't know what the point of this is anymore. I'm tired, I'm so tired. If you're reading this, I'm probably already gone. Final update. It is no longer being written by OP. This post was written by Ashley after she found her husband's post. I don't know how to start this. Riley, he passed away. I wasn't there. I should have been, but I wasn't. Nicole called me from the hospital and told me he passed away quietly in the early morning, holding her hand. She said that he asked for me to, at the end. And I don't know if that's true or if she's just trying to make me feel worse. I feel worse anyways without that little thing added. The funeral, it was quick. It was yesterday. I went. I don't know why. Maybe because people would have judged me if I didn't. I stood in the back and watched people cry over a man I betrayed in the worst way possible on the worst possible day. Paige, one of Riley's friends, whispered to someone that I looked more guilty than grieving, and she was right. Spot on. 3 months after Riley died, I gave birth to a baby boy. I was terrified the whole pregnancy, not just about labor or being a single mother, but what the DNA test would say. So I ordered one as soon as he was born, and, it's one of those private ones you do at home. The results, they came back about, 12 days? The baby is Riley's. I already knew it based on his eyes. I collapsed in the kitchen floor when I read it, just completely fell apart, sobbing so hard I couldn't breathe, because Riley never knew. He passed away thinking the baby might not be his. He died, believing I've taken even that away from him, and I should have told Justin the truth right then and there. I should have shown him the results and ended whatever this was, but I didn't. I told him the baby was his. Justin was money. He's successful. He recovered from the attack physically, even though he still has nightmares and anxiety and all these issues he's dealing with, but he has a good job and he felt guilty. I think about everything that happened. He started sending me money regularly, a lot of money, enough that I didn't have to go to work anymore. Could stay home with the baby, could afford a nice place. Eventually I moved in with him. We're building a life together now, or at least the appearance of one. He thinks he's raising his son. He doesn't even know the truth. I keep the DNA results in a box under my bed. Sometimes when Justin's at work, I take it out and look at it, and I hate myself. A few weeks ago, I was cleaning out the folders on Riley's laptop, the one I kept for some reason, and I found this post. I read it and I cried. I cried so hard I threw up. I saw how he laid everything out, his pain, his confusion, his fear, his thoughts of me not being there right when he was going to see his maker. All of it preserved here in his words. I'm writing this because I cannot keep lying to myself about what I did. I destroyed the only good man who ever loved me. I cheated on him. I blamed him. I abandoned him while he was, I let him pass, thinking his child might not be his when I could have done the test earlier. Could have given him the peace. Yes, it's your boy. Well, now I'm raising his son with another man. Lying every single day I wake up, pretending this is my life when really it's just a prison I built myself with one cheat at a time. I'm holding the baby right now while I type this. He looks like Riley. Same eyes, same little expressions. He even has his same cough. I'll never tell this baby the truth. He'll never know who his real father is. Not because his father died, but because I'm too much of a coward to tell the truth, I guess, because I choose money and stability over honesty. And the only reason I'm writing this is because, well, you guys don't know who I am. Because I'm still, even now, choosing the easy path instead of the right one. Riley deserves so much better than me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know sorry doesn't matter, though. It doesn't bring him back. It doesn't fix anything. Sorry doesn't change the fact that I'm still lying, still living this fake life, and still too weak to do what's right. I don't even know why the hell I'm posting this. Maybe because Riley deserves for someone to know the truth. Maybe because I need to confess even if I'm not brave enough to confess to the people who actually matter. I ruined everything, and I have to live with what I did for the rest of my life.